She wants to be Lauren so bad.
Hi guys, I'm Khloe. I'm one of the kids who got framed in The Unknown Number on Netflix that just came out.
Mind you, Khloe's dad is a police officer. So you just got on the screen and you said that you don't believe in the integrity of your own profession because they did an investigation and said that Lauren didn't have anything to do with it, and you still got on the screen and said Lauren had something to do with it.
Typed out a reply, I love you. I actually missed that. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Selena and today we have updates from The Unknown Number, the High School Catfish. This is a documentary on Netflix and this is your spoiler alert. So if you have not watched this documentary, please log off. If you don't care, I will do a quick recap of it, but I do have updates from TikTok and an article published in January that had updates about this case that were not shown in the Netflix documentary. So grab your snacks, grab your drinks, whatever you need, because this gets messy. I have my drink of the day. I have San Pellegrino. I'll also be playing some brief clips and reactions from other creators on TikTok, and I will be sharing my opinion because this this documentary was crazy. I finished it in one day. It is an hour and a half. It is so good. But okay, this is the quickest recap ever. Again, if you haven't watched it, I encourage you to watch it. But I really want to get into the juicy updates. So first of all, the people you need to know. There is this girl named Lauren and there is this boy named Owen. They started dating in like 6th, 7th grade, middle school. Lauren, she's more of a quiet kid. She exceeded in athletics and so did Owen. They both played basketball. She played volleyball and softball as well. Her mom, Kendra, she was also a basketball coach, very involved in Lauren's athletics, seemed like a very involved mom overall, and Lauren's father's name is Sean. So Owen McKinney, his parents are Jill and Dave. It all started when there was a Halloween party that Khloe, her parents have every year. So during that time, Lauren started to get these weird catfish text messages. If you don't know what a catfish is, it's basically someone pretending to be someone else, messaging them online. Usually there's an agenda there, you know, to scam, to be in a relationship, etc. And we're just gonna call the person the bully. So Lauren starts to get these text messages saying Lauren's boyfriend Owen is cheating on her, etc. Then the text messages gradually get worse, more vulgar, more explicit, and they're kind of taunting Lauren about this Halloween party in the beginning because Lauren didn't go. And so they're saying he was flirting all night, blah, blah, blah. Mind you, these text messages, they go on for 2 years and they spread out to other folks. So they started to text Owen and Lauren in a group chat and started to text their circle of friends. And Khloe, the girl who had the Halloween party, her parents host that every year, she was one of the accused people of being this catfish bully. Some things about Khloe had Jill and Kendra being suspicious of her because the catfish bully text messages would come from burner numbers using websites like Pinger. They would have area codes in Florida. And during that time, Khloe and her family went to spring break in Florida. A lot of people suspected Khloe because of that, but also because Khloe was known to be a mean girl anyways. Even Owen and Khloe admitted to having on and off crushes on each other. A lot of the text messages pointed to Khloe being the person. Khloe's father is a cop. His name's Craig. I guess Craig and... what's her mom's name? Sorry, I don't want to give my opinion away too early. What's her mom's name? Besides bully, but not the person behind it all. Tammy. So Tammy, Khloe's mom, would also question Khloe like, hey, are you the person behind this? Even Owen started to ask Khloe. Lauren was suspicious of Khloe. She's like, no, and she even had her phone dumped. The police downloaded everything. Even if she deleted something, they were able to find something on her phone if she deleted it, but there's nothing on Khloe's phone, so it wasn't her. It was also suspected that Owen's cousin, Adriana, was behind all this because there would be pictures of Owen and this phone case, and only family members or close friends of the McKinney family would have access to taking pictures of Owen's phone case in that picture, I guess. So Adriana was not the culprit as well, and I feel bad for her because she admitted that Khloe and people in the volleyball team would be mean to her and allegedly threw carrots at her, and so she was accused as well. Fast forward 2 years, we find out who it is because Sheriff Mike Main got involved, then also eventually the FBI official Brad Peter got involved. Guess who did it? Lauren's mom, Kendra, okay? And just to recap some of these crazy text messages. Okay, it's not funny. This whole situation is not funny, but the Netflix documentary uses this demonic voice to read the most explicit text messages, and I'm like, I was just not prepared to hear that. So let me just play some of these text messages.
My fucking tits in his face. Fucking make him horny. Make it cream.
And it's not funny. It's actually really disgusting because Kendra would play off of her daughter's insecurities. She would also introduce jargon about sex, which it's like, at the time, Lauren was 12, 13 when this all started in middle school, and it went into high school. But it's just crazy knowing that it's Kendra now. Here's some of those text messages.
His dick and fingers, my pussy and mouth.
Keep in mind that Kendra made these edits to this photo. So this was a screenshot of Lauren's Instagram, and she made all of these edits to it. Can you imagine? Like, she totally put so much effort into this. Everyone better without. JV ho, never varsity, worst couple, worthless. I think that love you comment is from Owen with a heart emoji, and she says fake comment. That just tells me she was in it for Owen this entire time. Because why is Lauren a hoe? Is Lauren a hoe because you wanted Owen? You PDF file?
Owen and I down to suck finger fuck.
Be honest with me. Did you chuckle at that demonic voice? I mean, like, why? I kind of get why they did that, but I would have expected maybe a more Siri-like voice, or I don't know. But yeah, real quick, let's just dive into my opinion. I think Lauren is a victim in all this, and I think she has Stockholm Syndrome. I really hope that she's in therapy, because when Kendra and Lauren were in the same room and the sheriff told Lauren, hey, your mom's the culprit, your mom did this, Lauren was just stone-faced, and she didn't physically cry until her dad got there and said, Kendra, I'm done. You got fired from your job. How long have you been lying to me? I can't do this anymore. You have to spend the night at your mom's house or something. And I just feel for Lauren because she got blamed by Khloe's parents. Khloe's parents, Tammy and Craig, were like, I think that Lauren was behind this too. We knew it was Kendra and no one else did a thing.
Khloe missed a whole goddamn year of what should have been some of the best memories of her life.
And our daughter Khloe got accused for this for a year, blah, blah, blah.
I told someone else that Sean and Lauren are going to play this off like they were the victim in this shit. They had no clue what was going on, and they're gonna get away with it because Mike Main didn't do his fucking job and investigate them. And that's exactly what happened.
I'm proud of her for that.
I kept that good. That's good.
Some of that comes up in the updates, so let's dive into the updates. This is an article by Lauren Smiley, and it was published in January 2025. And so this Netflix documentary just got published this summer. We're just going back a little bit, and Kendra did serve 19 months in jail, or in prison, excuse me. So this is kind of a longer article. I highlighted the key points because, yeah, and this is not necessarily in chronological order of the story, so just keep that in mind, okay? And also keep in mind, Lauren did not agree to this article, so they use a pseudonym, Ashley, by the way. So Lauren was on the quieter side. We know that. She was kind of quiet. She kind of just succeeded in athletics, and she didn't have the largest circle of friends, but it seemed like she was okay with that. She wasn't just as popular as Khloe, and she kind of felt like an outsider because, mind you, Owen had all these female best friends, so it got kind of awkward knowing that Owen was getting all these text messages seemingly trying to break him and Lauren up, and then Lauren is friends, or at least in the same vicinity as his female best friends. It just gets awkward for everybody. We find out that Kendra was also known as the cool mom, and she befriended two twins on Lauren's softball team. I'm just gonna call them twins, okay? And keep in mind, this is a small town, I guess. It's Beale City, Michigan. Guess everyone kind of knows each other's business there. Allegedly, if you're an outsider, it's kind of hard to get accepted within the community. So Kendra is actually not from Beale City, but Sean is. I guess to the school community, Kendra was seen as the cool mom, and she started to befriend the twins. According to the twins, they filmed Kendra crossing her eyes dancing to Sir Mix-a-Lot, cartwheeling down a hotel hallway on tournament weekends. To onlookers, it was clear that Ashley and Kendra were at the center of each other's lives, but by junior high, people observed that Kendra would brag about her daughter to the point of annoying other parents. Everything was Lauren's softball, Lauren's school, this, that. After Lauren started to date Owen, Mom came along, and at every opportunity, Kendra would ask them to wrap their arms around each other for a photo, which Ashley would turn into presents for Owen, like a personalized phone case. When they hung out at the Lakaris, Kendra would chime in, "Why don't you jump on the trampoline? Take a spin in Lauren's Ranger utility vehicle." Kendra would talk about the kids, saying to Owen's mom, Jill, like they were going to be together forever. Kendra would take Lauren's phone and read her daughter's text with Owen. Then, as Lauren, Kendra typed out a reply, "I love you. I actually miss that." And we're gonna get to that. I don't care what anyone says. Kendra was in love with Owen, and she was being predatory, and this whole time, she really wanted to get with him. I don't care what narrative she said in Netflix, but she would send the most explicit messages like, "Owen and I down to finger f***. Owen wouldn't want you. He wants BJ's. He wants to make out." Like, what? Getting to the point where Kendra found out who Owen was dating, some other girl 2 to 3 hours away in another part of Michigan, and Kendra started to message the new girlfriend's mom, sending mean messages. That has nothing to do with Lauren, so the fact that you're going out of your way to message who is in Owen's life that has nothing to do with Lauren, predatory. Side tangent. But I totally missed that she sent an "I love you" text to Owen as Lauren, but it was really Kendra. So in 2020, the kids were sent home in the spring of 7th grade. The Lakaris joined the McKinney's family, and they had their own little bubble during that time. They did dinners, bonfires. So they would travel for the tournaments and even camp together. Kendra signed up to coach Owen's track team, becoming, he says, like a second mom. A regular spectator at Owen's matches, she drove Lauren 3 hours across Michigan to watch one of his championship games. Kendra even suggested turning Owen's tournament in Florida into a Lakari family vacation, to which Jill had to gently say no. And that's just another example of Kendra infiltrating herself into Owen's life. Beyond the whole catfish bully thing, she was making excuses to be around Owen. And this is not mentioned in this article, but in the Netflix documentary, Owen even admitted that Kendra would pay special attention to him, even cutting up his steak for him. Beyond all this, Owen's family, the McKennies, did not suspect Kendra at all. The whole family's life was just watching Lauren play sports, and Jill says Owen seemed an extension of that. Dave saw Kendra's intentions as harmlessly basic. She wanted to belong. Because again, she's from outside of Beale City, so I guess this just made her happy to be involved in Owen's bubble. Fast forward to Kendra, or no, not Kendra. I almost said Kendra and Owen breaking up. Gross. Fast forward to Lauren and Owen breaking up. This article says, one of the text messages that Kendra sent to Lauren says, "Maybe you shouldn't have picked cross country over him. You proved he isn't important to you. We're there though. You don't get with him in bed. You don't sneak out with him. You f***ing dress awful. Ain't no guy want that." Can you imagine saying something like that to your daughter? And also, imagine if Lauren did do intimate things like that with Owen. I can see Kendra crashing out and making this whole thing way worse. This situation is disgusting as is, but can you imagine if Kendra found out that Lauren did more things with Owen versus just holding hands and stuff? Disgusting. And the fact that apparently she has more than one phone to do this. Kendra was dedicated to making her daughter's life a living hell and to do whatever she can to get close to Owen. Okay, now we're not in the breaking up stage anymore, but at one point, Lauren did wear Owen's jersey to school, and Lauren received a text from the catfish bully Kendra that said, "What the f***? You need to take that shit off. You are embarrassing him." I think she was just jealous that she wasn't wearing the jersey. Ugh. Besides playing on her daughter's body insecurities, she made fun of the fact that her friends got varsity and she remained on junior varsity. "You suck at basketball. He ain't dating no suck-ass anorexic not good enough JV girl." If you think about it too, it takes so much effort to type this out. So much effort to get another phone for this, and being around the situation, trying to go to all of Owen's games, being the basketball coach of your daughter's team, but that's secretly your way of trying to get in your daughter's bubble so you can humiliate her and bully her. Owen did admit feelings of being ashamed of this because the catfish bully was texting him like 2 years, and so of course you know, any type of mean words eventually get to people. And it was a minimum of 6 messages a day. It would be up to 30 messages a day. And in total, it was close to 20,000 text messages that Kendra sent out, period. So can you imagine 2 years getting stalked, getting all these mean, explicit words sent to you, it messing up with your relationship? And Kendra called him things like a... So in the midst of this, Kendra did decline against advice from other parents that Lauren should change her number. So Lauren's number never got changed, and Owen's number didn't get changed because it would just get found again. But it was interesting though, because it just seemed like Kendra was going to the school trying to figure out who's bullying the daughter and bullying the whole circle of friends, but declined to do anything else to help. And not that this is ideal, and I'm not a parent, but you could even think about some of those phones that are just for emergencies only, even if it was for a month, to see if the text messages died down or taking the phone away. It just seemed like Kendra didn't do anything to prevent her daughter not getting these text messages. In hindsight, okay? And you know what's diabolical? So those twins that Kendra befriended on that sports team, she would text the twins to go comfort Lauren, as Lauren would be crying on the bus while going to a championship or a tournament. So Kendra would even infiltrate herself like that, telling the twins to comfort her. She knew this was affecting her daughter the entire time. And of course, it was affecting the other kids at school as well. Sometimes Kendra would be spotted in the parking lot of the school. So the article says, students would sometimes see Kendra parked in the school lot in the middle of the day. Middle of the day? I missed that. She told people she worked for Ferris State from home and often showed up wearing the university's gear. In the hallways one day, Kendra told Owen's younger sister, Macy, that the bully had insulted Ashley's shirt, so she was bringing a change of clothes. Another time, Kendra saw Natalie Antcliffe in the parking lot. I think this is one of the twins, Natalie, and confided that it had taken hours for Lauren to get dressed that morning, that she was anxious about her performance at games because she expected it to become fodder for bullying. One of the twins gave Kendra a hug, assuring her that the culprit would eventually be caught. It's just an attention-seeking game too. Beyond her infatuation with Owen, she wanted to befriend the girls that are Lauren's friends in school. She wants to be Lauren so bad. And what's crazy is, I think a lot of people are not connecting the dots. Kendra is jealous of her daughter. She wants to be her daughter, and she wants Owen. And the fact that she's really befriending people around Lauren, helping accuse people like Khloe and Owen's cousin Adriana, and it was Kendra the whole time, that is sick. So jumping back to when Khloe was kind of being accused about being the catfish bully, on their calls, Kendra and Jill would circle the possibility that Khloe was behind the text. Jill found the case persuasive. Several anonymous complaints against Khloe had trickled into OK2Say, the state's tip line for potential threats to students. One in middle school about yelling at a teammate on the court, another that year about Owen helping her during a test in computer class. Khloe often said bruh, so did the texter. Let me reread that. Khloe often said bruh, so did the texter. Khloe's father was a police sergeant. The texter mentioned that they had cops to defend them. Kendra once complained that Lauren's Snapchat was hacked, and when she'd contacted the social network, Kendra claimed it told her the login came from Broomfield Township, where the Wilsons live, aka Khloe's family. One weekend, the text came from the 906 area code, Michigan's Upper Peninsula, where Khloe was snowmobiling with her family. And now that we know that it's Kendra doing all this, she was strategically finding those burner phone numbers with the area codes where Khloe would be at. And I wonder, how did she know where Khloe would be? She wasn't close to Khloe's family. Kendra's family was close to Owen's family. So I don't know, I guess it's a small town. Everyone knows each other's business, but that is another example of Kendra being diabolical. And also too, that kind of just shows how Khloe was a mean girl, like yelling at people on the volleyball court, the carrots.
Hi guys, I'm Khloe. I'm one of the kids who got framed in The Unknown Number on Netflix that just came out today, and I was gonna tell a little bit more of my story about it. Okay, so it started when we were like 7th, 8th grade, around there, and my mom has these like Halloween parties every year up until freshman year of high school. And just for a reference, no one was not invited. Anyone could come from Beale City, like it wasn't a invite. Like there was so many people that came to these they weren't even parties. I don't know. A haunted trail. Anyway, I had no idea that there was a random text going around about her not getting invited to these parties until Kendra called or texted my mom and asked her if it was me who sent the text to Lauren. So my mom got the text from Kendra and she was like, no, like, everyone was invited, like, no, like, there was no invite, like, to anyone. You could just go. So yeah. So fast forward to the end of 8th grade year. I still really didn't know about it. Like, I heard, like, Owen was getting random text a little bit, but, like, not really that much about it. So I'm pretty sure this was the beginning of freshman year. It was around, like, volleyball time, kind of close to, like, December. And that's when, like, Owen asked me, like, hey, is this you? And I was like, I have no idea, like, what you're even talking about. Like, I, at this point, thought it was, like, one, like, bad text or, like, a couple of random texts that, like, someone sent. I was like, no, like, brush it off. Because I was like, no, I didn't send that text. Also, just to clarify, Owen and these 2 other girls were, like, we were all best friends freshman year. And we'd sit together in science class.
Okay, so I want to speak on one part of the Catfish documentary that I haven't seen anyone else really speak on, and that's the fact that no matter what, a bully will always take their narrative and run with it, even after they've been confronted with the truth. And we saw this play out when Khloe's bully parents got on the screen, even after the police said, we ran all the IP addresses, we've done the investigation, every single thing came back to Kendra, we have no reason to believe that Lauren was involved and that she was anything but a true victim. Khloe bully parents got on the screen talking about, oh yeah, she and her dad were both involved. Mind you, Khloe's dad is a police officer. So you just got on the screen and you said that you don't believe in the integrity of your own profession because they did an investigation and said that Lauren didn't have anything to do with it, and you still got on the screen and said Lauren had something to do with it. And then Khloe bully got on TikTok liking every single comment that said Lauren did it. Khloe liked it. And it's like, bro, I'm not disputing the fact that you were falsely accused, but at the end of the day, you wouldn't have been able to be falsely accused if you were not already a bully. If you were not already a POS, people wouldn't have been able to falsely accuse you. Your own best friend got on the screen and said, I would not say that Khloe was a nice person at all. Everybody got on the screen and said you're a bully. They bring your name to the school. If you were not the school would have been like, no, we have no reason to believe that this was her, like, whatever, woo-woo. Instead, the school said, yeah, we've had lots of problems with this girl. This is definitely something we could see her doing. And it's sad that they tried to, quote unquote, ruin your life behind this, but they're trying to save their kids' lives. Like, Owen's mom was trying to save her life. Like, I just think it's crazy that she got on TikTok and was like, I'm sure I was bullying people. Like, she was like, because I was being falsely accused of this. Like, no, you were already bullying people, because by the time your name was brought up for the first time to be falsely accused, they said, yeah, that's definitely something we can see her doing. Like, all roads lead back to you. And that's what's crazy about bullying, is that it's not about what the truth is. It's about whatever narrative you want to take and you want to push. Because even after being provided the entire story, y'all, all 3 of y'all, still opened your mouth to say it was Lauren and Lauren had something to do with it. Like, she was being bullied in such a way that it wouldn't have surprised me. And I think most people would have probably themselves. Like, so for the fact that y'all are still trying to run with this narrative, even after we know it's not, like, y'all are all 3 horrible people. Like, you're literally horrible people. And I actually don't really feel bad for what happened to you, because you deserved it. Sorry.
So I'm not saying that Khloe shouldn't have had the same stress and what have you, but I think Khloe was a bully, and I also think her parents are bullies. We'll get to more of that by the end of the article too. This is kind of in the documentary. Owen did have some frustrations because every night when his mom Jill would take his phone, it seems like Jill would kind of text or use the phone sometimes, and then Owen would have to reap the consequences of what his mom did. So one night, Jill messaged Khloe from Owen's phone. She was pretending to be Owen to see what Khloe's reaction was. So she said, if this is you, be honest. Then Khloe FaceTimed Owen angrily. Owen was trying to navigate the mess without losing friends and iced out his mother for days. So what does iced out mean? Does that mean like not talk? Iced out. Don't make me go to Urban Dictionary again. Okay, everyone is saying iced out is to be decorative with jewelry. Yeah, I know what that means.
You don't take me anywhere. You don't buy me anything. It's not like I got ice.
I feel like iced out means not talk. Another way to say loner. Some people would suspect that Lauren was behind all of this. So looking back, it said in this article that Lauren had no friends. She would sit next to her mom during basketball games. She would complain to her dad about the texts, and she didn't have any friends anymore. In class, Ashley would often be texting. She told people she was writing her mother. Now here is something juicy, because the surveillance cameras caught Kendra on her phone. So the McKennies and the Careys wanted to address the girls' basketball team. Khloe and other suspects were on it, and their parents directly, but Boyer refused. He didn't want a scene of emotional parents accusing children. That was in the documentary. But he did humor the mom's request for a sting operation after Kendra complained that that Lauren's necklace and jersey had gone missing. Boyer says in a school where it's like 1960s America, kids don't lock their lockers. During basketball practice, Lauren's shoes were placed in Beal's sports foyer under surveillance cameras. Boyer emailed Kendra like a cop at a stakeout. "We are all set to track the shoes." The shoes sat untouched for hours until a custodian put them in the lost and found. Still, in reviewing footage from the gymnasium, one thing did grab Boyer's attention. During practice, Coach Kendra was often head down on her phone. She usually carried 2 phones. One, she said, was for work, one was personal. I think they were both Owen phones, to be honest, because we know that her number got back to this whole thing, so she probably was going back and forth, to be honest. She does have an IT background. Kendra's obsession with Owen and being a bully to her daughter got so bad that during basketball games, in plain sight, she's just glued to her phone. Kendra would still be doing this if the FBI had not caught her. And actually, she does admit to that. Now the article goes back to the suspicions about Khloe. Kendra did create a ghost Snapchat to impersonate Khloe. In a meeting, the sheriff showed the Wilsons pages of messages from the bully that Kendra had sent to him. And the Wilsons are Khloe's family. Some texts included a screenshot of Snapchat DM exchanges with someone named Khloe. Khloe said she'd never sent those. Someone had created a ghost Snapchat account to impersonate her. She showed her father how easy that was to do. Khloe recognized other words as hers, though. Portions of her chat with Owen, which she'd screen recorded and sent to Lauren to prove they weren't flirting. Screenshotted bits of these exchanges were now, confusingly, also part of the bully's messages. So that tells me Kendra was going through Lauren's phone, and that's how she got messages that Khloe and Owen had exchanged with each other. I don't like Khloe, but I can understand why she may have thought Lauren was in on it, because if she had sent text exchanges between her and Owen before saying, "Hey, we're not flirting," and then the ghost Snapchat comes up, it's like, well, Lauren was the only one that I would know have this information besides Owen and I. But again, we're gonna get to Khloe. So Khloe's dad, Craig, did message the sheriff previously about his concerns that this whole thing could be Kendra. Honestly, Mike, I don't know if you know Kendra or not, but you really need to be cautious. There is a pretty good part of me that thinks she may very well be doing this. But I have to wonder, there was no extra details about that as to why he said that. I don't know, because he comes off like a bully as well. He just kind of said that, but there was not that much information to back it up.
I don't know what you know of her, Mike, but she's not a truthful person.
Let me know if you caught something in the documentary, because I did not. I don't know, was it just a feeling he had that she's phony? But I wanted to know more about why he thought Kendra was the culprit. According to the article, Khloe did say, "This isn't trying to sound cocky, but before the accusations, I just feel like a lot of people liked me. The children she coached at volleyball camp, upperclassmen on her teams, coaches. Khloe tried to keep a confident front at school, but when she got home, she'd close the door of her room to cry." This is crazy. So other parents start to get suspicious of Kendra. Buckle up, because I thought this was gross too. Tammy and Craig Wilson weren't alone in doubting Kendra. Little by little, people around town had started whispering about her, about the attention she seemed to continually seek. Another parent, flipping through the pages of text with the Wilsons, concluded, "This is an adult. I wouldn't put it past Kendra." Beal's secretary, Diane Fussman, told Principal Boyer she suspected her, which Boyer found implausible. "I always thought she was a little obsessive with her child. My gut told me this just isn't one of our kids." Sheriff Maine ran the theory by Jill, Owen's mama, and Dave McKinney. Could it be Kendra? Absolutely not, Jill said. Another mother in town recalls the same thought flickering through her mind, then scolding herself. How dare you think a mother would ever do that?
The overuse of the word creamy. No 14-year-olds talk like that. The language used in the text messages sounded like somebody from an older generation. That is one of the things that stood out to me right away. I'm a millennial. I remember being a child and people using the word creamy or watching the movie Grease and hearing cream and not knowing what that meant. As a millennial, that wasn't a word that was used except by older people. This is not from the same generation.
On Jill's behalf, I could see it being confusing too, because if Jill is going to the school saying, hey, I want to talk to the school, let's find ways to catch this bully, let's find ways to make this stop, and Kendra's like, I'll meet you there, Kendra's going with her, Kendra's in constant communication with Jill, and then this happens? Brad Peter, who works for the FBI, he gets in on this case, and keep in mind, he has to work fast because the burner phone numbers only keep the past 2 weeks of data. He was really trying to work with everyone on this case. Give me the phone numbers. I need all the information I can get to cross-reference who is behind this. Officer Brad Peter emailed Kendra about the case, and Sheriff Maine did relay people's suspicion of her, but Peter says they both found that notion far-fetched. After 2 days of silence, not hearing from Kendra, Peter called her and proceeded to have what appeared to be an utterly normal conversation with a worried mother, talking about the toll on Ashley and musing about suspects. I do find it interesting that Kendra did not talk to Officer Peter for 2 days. You knew you were getting caught. She just knew it. Owen's mom, Jill, started to get suspicious of Kendra after this because Kendra would infiltrate with Owen's love life, and she would start asking questions. Months after the breakup, Kendra kept prying into Kendra kept prying into Owen's love interest, asking if he was dating Khloe. Annoyed, oh my gosh. Jill firmly told her that they'd talk only about the bully going forward. In early May, long after basketball season was over, Dave spotted Kendra's gray Explorer parked near the Catholic church half a block from school. Inside, Kendra was looking down at her lap. She glanced up at Dave and waved. Later that day, unprompted, Kendra brought it up to Jill on the phone. Oh, I'm sure Dave thought it was funny seeing me in the parking lot, she remembers Kendra saying. I drove to Beale to get gas and got a coffee, and I spilled it all over me, and so I pulled in there to wipe it off. Jill sniffed a lie. But why? And also keep in mind, Kendra used hundreds of burner phone numbers to carry out this whole catfish bully, be disgusting towards my daughter and predatory towards a boy situation. One of the things that this article highlights is that Kendra would tell her daughter to delete herself, right? So what was interesting is she told her to do that, apologized, and then told her to do it again. Back in November, the bully had told Lauren that Owen said his life would be better if you were dead. Then a half hour later, they took it back. Sorry, I shouldn't say dead, that was too far. But in mid-May, there was no apologies. Blank yourself now. So in the documentary, we do see body cam footage of the officer confronting Kendra, letting Lauren know, and then also getting Lauren to call the dad, Sean, and then we see Sean come in. But when Sheriff Maine was prompting her...
Does it have to do with Owen? Is there an infatuation there with Owen?
No, nothing like that.
Okay, then just tell me what did he treat Lauren bad? I mean, something serious went on for a while, right?
Yeah, and it didn't start that way.
And I'm sure it didn't.
I don't even know.
It's okay. Just start from the beginning. So they were dating, and then they broke up. So how did it really start? Like, why did it start did it start during when they were still dating?
It did.
Was he treating you bad?
But it didn't. The first ones didn't start with me.
Okay.
I will say that those ones were random or whatever.
So somebody else started those. You don't know.
But then I fed off of it.
She said no, nothing like that. But according to this article, when he said, why'd you do this then? And she said stress and financial issues, which I don't think that was on the documentary. So now she's just totally blaming it on that. But keep in mind, in the Netflix documentary, they gave her some reasons why she may have done this, and she's like, yeah, that could be it. Yeah, it could be that I was putting my insecurities on Lauren. You're right.
The messages weren't really targeted at her insecurities.
At you? Were you sending these messages to yourself?
That very well, possibly, because I was way too thin.
She just took whatever she can to roll with it. There was no accountability from Kendra in that documentary. And what's crazy is that she's in it Can you imagine if this was a male who did this? Like, the fact that she's in it, I think it's interesting because we can hear her side from the story, but also it's like, we should not give you a platform for this. But also, I kind of see what Netflix was trying to do. Like, take a look at this bitch. What do you guys think about that? Do you think that Kendra should be in this documentary or not? This article said that Kendra had 3 phones, but the documentary said she had 2, so I don't know. Either way, having more than 1 phone to do this is insane. This whole thing's insane, but the fact that she has more than 1 phone to carry out her plot. And Sean told him that his wife owned a 3rd phone and had been evasive when he asked about it. That device, a gold iPhone, was nestled in a stack of wood outside. Kendra had stashed it there when the sheriff drove up. And that's where she said her laptop was too. So if you're like me, I wanted to know the tea as to why Kendra got fired from those 2 jobs that her husband Sean thought she had. So this article provides a little insight. Kendra was fired for her performance, citing excessive time on non-work texting and calls. She also said she quit Ferris State. There was a lot about the family's finances that Kendra had hidden. Her job change in 2019, when Lauren was in 6th grade, was in fact the result of Central Michigan University firing her for her performance. The new job at Ferris State had not come with the big wage bump she'd claimed, and collectors were filing suit in court for unpaid utility and insurance bills. Later that fall, when Owen asked Lauren out and the first text arrived, the Lacari's 1-story house was foreclosed on. Kendra told her family she had sold it. The Lacaris moved into the log cabin after entering into a land contract, a way to buy a house, often for those with bad credit, in which buyers pay installments directly to the owner. According to a family member, whenever he would ask Kendra about anything financial, she would change the subject to the cyberbully. In the fall, during Lauren's freshman year, the cabin owner started the eviction process. In April 2022, just before the FBI-affiliated task force got involved in the case, the court received a request from the Lacaris to delay getting evicted from the cabin. They were weathering unemployment and they didn't want to be homeless. The court evicted them that month. Kendra told her family that the house's foundation had cracked and they had to move out while it was lifted up for repairs. A lot of people are questioning as to why Sean had no idea about what was going on with the financial stuff, but I honestly have empathy for him because we don't know what goes on in people's households, and Kendra could be super controlling. So I don't know, I do think some people just don't check their bank accounts, but let this be a lesson to you. Make sure you check your bank accounts. If you share finances with someone, make sure you're in the know. Don't check once a year, once a month. You know, I would check on a weekly basis, maybe bi-weekly. I even started to get alerts on my watch because if I make a transaction and it goes in twice, I will know, or if I get charged twice. And actually, I had to file a dispute with the bank because when I went to Vegan Fest, I got scammed. I paid for like one of those soaps and they had their iPad. After that transaction, I had like $200 from Shein and like someone bought $100 worth of pizzas right away, and I'm like, that is not me. Thankfully the bank reimbursed me for that, but just be careful. Make sure you have your alerts on. So apparently when Khloe's parents found out, I guess they screamed with joy. So Khloe put her parents on speaker while standing in a friend's kitchen. The girls screamed in relief after Kendra was arrested in December 2022. And so Lauren was a sophomore in high school and she finished the rest of her school that year online. She did return in person for her junior year. At her sentencing, Kendra said, "It was a blessing that I was caught because it forced me to stop." She even admitted that she wouldn't have stopped. So this is the end of the article, and I think it's one of the meanest things that show that Khloe's parents are bullies and they've raised a bully. So after Lauren returned to Beale City for junior year, Owen avoided her. He even felt angry toward her. So many in town asked, how could she not have known? Khloe and her parents thought Lauren must have known. Why had she always been texting her mother in class? Natalie, who got back in touch with Lauren once she returned to town, says yes. Lauren had started to consider that her mother could be the bully, but only in the last month before the sheriff showed up, which I find interesting. I do think at that point she's like, who else could it be that knows all these intimate details in my life? No one else calls me low, only my close friends and family do, knowing what shirt she wore. Anyways, you know how Khloe's parents throw the annual Halloween party? Tammy, Khloe's mom, dressed as a scarecrow in a prison jumpsuit and a mask of Kendra's mugshot, phones clutched in its gnarled hands. At one point, she pondered gathering friends in Beale for a big watch party of the documentary. Then she changed her mind. Maybe it would be too emotional to relive this whole thing again. Maybe best, she said, to just watch it as a family. And actually, there's a Lifetime movie of this whole situation called Mommy Meanest. I'm gonna watch that. Kendra did respond to the writer of this blog saying, I do ask that you truly think about the kids, minor kids, that are involved in this situation, including my daughter, who is trying to move forward and has a bright future ahead of herself. These stories are doing additional harm to her. I can handle the pain, but she cannot and does not deserve it. She's moving forward with life and doesn't deserve to be in the spotlight anymore, or having people thinking her mom is a villain, as that is hard mentally and emotionally for her. That is such a narcissist thing to say, because I think Kendra just doesn't want the attention on her and people holding her accountable. And also too, if you're gonna say that, not wanting your daughter to relive the pain of this, then why'd you agree to the documentary? And you can't just have an expectation that Lauren will be fine after this, especially because you were sending those extra creepy lovey-dovey messages like, "Good morning, my beautiful daughter," while you were in prison. And people are coming for her. Have you guys seen this play out on TikTok? There's so many comments with Quasimodo under a lot of these TikToks. It's just insane. I did see this TikTok and saying, why is Owen kind of seeming like the victim only in all of this? Because it seemed like he turned on Lauren, and why is he only friends with females?
No one is talking about Owen's weird behavior enough for me. Like when they were introducing Khloe and he said himself growing up, she was never a nice person. Never a nice person. But that was like one of your best friends? Your cousin is actively getting bullied by these mother carrot throwers and they're still your best friends? Another thing, everybody better apologize to Adriana immediately. Immediately. I hope she's never talked to Owen again in her life. Because what kind of backstab cousin is that? Ain't no way I'm letting my cousin get bullied and gonna be friends with the bullier.
I also thought people were getting mad at Jill a little too much. Jill as in Owen's mom. Because yeah, she shouldn't have, pretended to be Owen to see Khloe's reaction. But honestly, as a mother, a good mother, what would you do? Like, I can't speak for what I would do. I mean, I definitely would not be a Kendra, but I think you could see Jill in the body cam footage. Like, she was showing up to the school so often. She was crying in the body cam footage. Like, what else can we do? And let's be honest, the stalking laws for cyber stalking, for stalking in real life, they're not as strict because a lot of the times people need evidence. So I'm sure it just felt like Owen's family couldn't really do much, and you best believe once the FBI gets a hold of this, they're gonna find it out. So anyways, y'all, did you watch this documentary? What do you think about these updates? What did you think about the whole situation? Did you know it was Kendra the whole time? Or were you befuddled like me? I had no idea. I was like, who could this be? But anyways, y'all, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Like, share, subscribe. If you don't, I just appreciate you being here, and I will see y'all in my next video. Bye!